what from the very outset you guys expected a clean sweep?
It's difficult to say that you're going to beat a team.
Sorry to stop. Can you just look that way when you answer?
I'm just standing there.
I know.
This actually feels weird now. I think it's very tough to predict outcomes of a test series. I know we've got a very strong test side. I know what we're capable of. We set out our team goals at the start of the series, and I'm glad we achieved it. But obviously, Pakistan is a very unpredictable side. We know we have to take them seriously, and that was our mindset coming into the series. So to predict a 3-0 whitewash is a little bit harsh on opposition. I think it's also harsh on us to put us in that kind of pressure gap. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a very good outcome for us.
Yes, please.
How much of a challenge were you expecting them from Pakistan?
Look, they're a good side. They've played really good cricket in their conditions, and we got to respect that. But being in South Africa, we knew we were always going to potentially have the upper hand, just because we're more familiar with our conditions, and a lot of their players are relatively inexperienced in playing in South Africa. But that also makes him quite dangerous. It's Test cricket. Firstly, we got to respect the fact that we play in Test cricket, and it can expose you very quickly if you have the wrong mindset going into the challenge. But yeah, it's always going to be hard work playing against a good side. They came obviously with quite an unpredictable team. We didn't know a lot about their bowlers, especially, and I'm pretty sure they've done a lot of good things for their side.
Dean, having said all of that, I mean, it then boils down to execution, doesn't it? And
Yeah.
I mean, no one can really quibble with that. You guys have got the runs you needed to get, and then the bowlers, 4 fast bowlers, have really just been outstanding.
Yeah, I think we're very fortunate. Firstly, that we have 4 fast bowlers who bowl. 3 of them can bowl 140 and above, and we've got a guy like Vernon who knows what he's doing. He's highly skilled. So we're quite fortunate in that sense that we have that arsenal at the moment. So we knew we got to try and utilise our strengths going in against the Pakistani guys, because we know they're not particularly a big fan of facing fast bowling, especially on the wickets that we prepare for our bowling unit.
Crystal, Dean first win as Test captain. How does that feel?
Very good feeling. I didn't think it was going to happen before lunch, which I'm quite happy about. I'm sure we're all happy about that. It's how we get the afternoon off. Yeah, it's another nice little memento in my career. I can look back at it now and say I've at least got a 50% strike rate as captain, and hopefully it continues to grow if that opportunity comes up one day. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm still extremely proud of the guys. They definitely were very professional throughout the last week, especially winning the series in Cape Town, and potentially making this game a dead rubber. I'm extremely proud of the end results that we achieved today.
Dean, there's a lot of talk about the fast bowlers, the batsmen struggling a bit, but how proud are you and how where are you as a batting unit at the moment? I mean, the top 7 all barring Proteas and Zubair scored at least once 150 in the series. So how is the batting unit feeling?
I mean, you got to analyse the conditions we play in. Our test wickets are very tough. Gone are the days where I'd like to think that we still can score big runs in South Africa. You can if you really apply yourself and in a very good mental space. But the wickets we play on is very tough for our batters. The guys are quite new. Tennis is very inexperienced at this level. Hamza came in on his test debut, so it's always going to be tough. The pressure and the intensity that you face in test cricket is a lot higher than what you used to playing in domestic cricket. So I think our batting unit is relatively settled. You've got to have a few inexperienced guys around because they've got to take the game forward in a few years' time. So I think it's important that we still carry those guys around. They need to play. That's the only way you get experience at this level. Unfortunately, you do have to go through a few failures in your career, but it's how quick you bounce back from those failures that's important for their careers going forward. So I'd like to think our batting unit is relatively experienced. Obviously, Faf will come back in, and he adds a lot of balance to our middle order, a lot more experience and a calm head.
Zane?
Dean, Vicky Arthur spoke about how Quinton de Kock was the main difference in the batting when you compare both the teams. Is that how you feel as well in terms of how happy are you with the way he's performed?
Quinny's been in awesome form this summer. He played a seriously good MSL T20 league. I know it's obviously a different format, but he's a confidence player, and obviously that tournament gave him a lot of confidence going into the series. It's awesome to see Quinny the way he's batting now. I know there was a few technical things that he was potentially working on. Don't ask me what they are because I don't know what they are. But I know he was working on a few things. And it's good to see that the hard work has paid off for him. I know he's trained extremely hard physically, not just in cricket, but off the field in a physical point of view, and I'm glad to see it's paying off for him.
Dean, was there a moment, especially when you guys dropped those 5 catches, that those chances slip, think that you guys might let this test match slip and the 3-win series?
It's so tough. It's a bit of a circus hour that we had. A lot happened, and then the game swung back in our favour. I mean, that's what makes this format so exciting still. Look, those chances that go down, it's not intentional. It's the game. You're never going to be better than this game. Those things come your way to obviously throw you out of your comfort zone quite a bit. And you've got to adapt quite quickly. I think what we did was, even though those things happened, those chances went a begging, we adapted quite well, we adapted quite quickly. A few stern words were said at drinks, and the guys really put their best foot forward. That's what we needed. We could have easily let that session just meander out, and they potentially might have scored quicker and more runs and really put us under the pump. But no, I never thought that we were going to slip this game up. I know the guys were going to be able to react very quickly, and I think even though those chances were there, it obviously makes the format still a lot more exciting.
Dean, how much more enjoyable was this experience from a personal leading perspective compared to Lords?
Look, Lords is still going to be right up there. It's the home of cricket. If you ask any cricketer where would you want to captain, irrespective of the result, I reckon that's the one venue that will be in your top 5. But it's still a test win, and being the leader for this test, it's still an immensely proud moment for me. But I can't write off Lords not being a proud moment as well. That's a special place, and I always enjoy going back there when I do play in county cricket. But yeah, it's nice to know that you've got a win and you didn't let down your team and your country. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure, if you want to call it that, by taking over. But it's a good kind of pressure. It's something that I really seem to gel at. It really gets me going. Yeah, it's still a special moment for me.
Stuart, Dan, and Ken.
Do you feel the South African team has improved this summer from
What's
last
that?
Do you feel the South African team has improved this summer from last summer, and if so, in which areas, and if not, where?
I mean, so far the test we've played, last year, for instance, we had a three pace attack and 1 spinner. Conditions obviously now have changed that we have to go 4 seamers, and also the opposition we're playing against. I think it's improved, definitely. I think the ability for us to adapt as a side has increased big time. So that's a very good warming sign for us. That the fact that we can leave out a big player like Keshav, who's been really special for us the last few years. We can leave him out, bring in a young guy like Duan, and he just gels in and he applies himself like he's been around for a long time. So I think the ability for us to adapt is definitely a massive plus for us. So I'd say we've definitely have improved in certain areas, no doubt. But yet again, there are certain areas that we can definitely address still and work a lot harder on. I can't point out now. Like I said, we can look at and address. that potentially might take a few months. But yeah, no doubt there are definitely areas that we can address. I mean, our batting, we can maybe be have a bit more hunger going into those hundreds, scoring more hundreds that we used to do, and now the conditions are tougher, so mentally you might just have to fine-tune yourself a little bit more, knowing that this is what we're going to get potentially in the future.
Dean, is it inevitable if you play an all-pace attack, you're going to fall behind the over rate, and is that vegetarian to playing all-pace this one?
We were fine this game. I don't know how it happened in Cape Town that we were so far behind. But we were level this game. But it's always going to be a challenge. But you just got to be mindful. You can't drag your heels when there's 4 seamers that have to get through your overs. You can't be slack in the field. You got to hustle. You got to get through it. And potentially that's where you have to be on another guy's case, and you got to get on his case and maybe push him along a little bit. It might irritate them, but it's for the greater and the good. But yeah, you can definitely get through it with 4 seamers, I think.
Dean, just a word on the man sitting next to you there, the enforcer of the team, if you like. Just how much of a contribution has he made?
The Bloemfontein bone collector. Look, Dewey and I, we've come a very long way. We were teammates when I was still based in Bloemfontein. He made his debut when I was in Bloem as well. So I've seen him develop quite a lot over the last few years. He's definitely done himself the world of good by what he's done in the series, and it's awesome to know that I was part of the start of his career. So yeah, I'm very, very proud of what he's done. He's an awesome guy to have around in the team. He's a really good team guy as well. But to have him in your bowling lineup is something nice as a captain and a teammate.
Dean, just to elaborate on Duan, does it feel like he now complements the sort of the balance of the bowling attack that enforce a little more, much like what Molly Morgan used to do?
Sure, definitely. I think we did have that in a guy like KG as well. KG also had that role where he just took wickets for fun, and now we've got a new guy who can do that as well. And it's nice when the facilities also assist the guy. Okay, I faced him the 4-day game coming up before the series started, and it was quite uncomfortable knowing that we're going to be teammates the next week. I don't know how we're going to speak, but yeah, it's nice to have a guy that you can have in your side that can run in and bowl some serious pace. He's got a good skill that he gets a lot of steep bounce from a good length, and also ultimately it's assisted by the wickets we play on. But yeah, it's quite scary at times when you see him running up and he bowls the ball at 140 plus and balls is skimming past the guy's helmet. It's quite intimidating to know that he's at least on your side, and potentially you don't always want to face him in the nets. But yeah, it's nice to have him, as I mentioned.
As a batter, you've spoken about the facilities being carried towards the favour of guys like Duan. Do you think that buys batsmen such as yourself a bit longer in the national team to adapt and fail a bit more because the conditions are so far weighted towards bowlers?
I think there's definitely going to be a sensitivity around that. I think I wouldn't say gone are the days where averaging 45 plus are gone. I still think there's room for that. Your best batters will obviously ultimately reach those goals. But yeah, I do think it's going to always be a challenge. You're potentially not going to be as free-flowing on our wickets that we're playing on. A bit more hard kind of cricket, gritting it out. Free scoring is maybe you got to put that away. You got to put that aside until you get in. Yeah, it's going to be hard work for the batters going on in, but I don't see our batting units going to struggle because we know we're going to have hard times, obviously, but we just got to adapt through that period.
You guys buy into that, obviously, because
No, we've got no choice. Look, our strength are our bowlers, and ultimately we got to use what we have. That's our arsenal. Unfortunately, I'll sit here as a batter, and I also got to fight through that. You're gonna get a good ball that's got your name on it when you're playing on wickets like this, which is tough. A lot of guys potentially get it quite down on that because they ultimately want to do well. I mean, that's why we play this game. We want to do well. We don't just want to fail. But failure it's always going to happen in this game. And the facilities, obviously, that in the wickets we're playing on it's gonna be tough for us.
In pursuit of 5-0 for the summer, what is the biggest lesson that you'll take from this when looking ahead to Sri Lanka?
One thing that stands out for me is we still got to learn from the series. There were a lot of areas I don't particularly think we played at 100% throughout the series. I always thought we were maybe at 70-75% throughout the series. So for us to get closer to 100% is ultimately another goal for us. I'm pretty sure a lot of guys will agree with what I'm saying, that we haven't played our best cricket. And it's still warming signs to know that we're winning. So I can't wait for when we're actually in that 90-100% bracket, and can't wait to see what we're actually going to achieve. But I think that's the one area that we can definitely grow as a side going forward. But yeah, it's still promising signs for us going forward.